Welcome back, Patriots, to the Freedom Hub. My name is Ryan, and today I'm bringing you an awesome review of the 1911. It's pretty standard body. We're shooting the Remington 1911 today. That is an 8-round capacity, and if it's good enough for our military, it's good enough for us. So we're going to see what this is all about today.
Welcome back, everybody. That was a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, so one of the first things that I noticed right off the bat is that the gun was all metal.
Right.
So I'm used to shooting, a polymer frame pistol. This one was aluminum.
I believe so.
Okay, super strong, super durable, super reliable. And, that shows why it has been standard issue for as long as it has.
Right. Definitely felt very hardy in your hand. There was a weight to it that you don't get off of like a polymer grip pistol. There was just a lot of counter recoil that was like into it. So it's a full-size gun. Made it very, very easy to shoot. But the weight of the gun itself, keeping it down, just made our follow-up shots a lot smoother. I noticed that I was more on the ball coming off of follow-up shots or with a quicker fire rate. And it was actually a big dream of mine to shoot it. And I'm glad that we got to knock that one off the bucket list today.
Definitely. Now, one of the things, I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea or anything. It wasn't a super heavy gun. It was just a little bit heavier than what I was used to. So yes, full size, yes, 45 ACP, when you got 8 of those in the magazine, that weighs a good amount itself. Yeah. But the way that it's balanced out, that recoil suppression, so good.
Right.
I mean, yes, there was one heck of a muzzle blast out of that.
Yeah.
But I know I felt pretty accurate right off the bat.
Oh yeah, no, it was crazy, the difference. I mean, usually I have like a mag or two that I would bring into the range when I start to fire just to, blow through real quick.
Sure.
Make sure that my sights are, and that my muscle memory is accurate. But coming into that, I mean, I can actually show a clip of the first few rounds that I shot off there, and just right off the rip, it went exactly where I wanted it to every time. And I think that's an amazing thing to find in a firearm.
That's true. I mean, there's a reason it's been around for as long as it did.
Right.
It still is, even though I know that a new design came out, the 2011.
Yeah.
Kind of
the
like
double stack.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Those are pretty popular as well. So with a larger caliber, like a 40 or a 45, which you typically find a 1911 in, it comes with a single stack magazine. You're looking at a lot lower capacity as far as carrying than you typically would over like a double stacked 9mm. Bigger bullet takes up more space, less room to put them. You end up with a lower round count. However, the accuracy and the amount of power that was behind every single round, I have no doubt in my mind that I would be more protected with a 45 with less rounds than I would being inaccurate without as much power with my 9. And so that I really, really liked about it. There was just an element of precision that really brought to it. Mm-hmm. Those double stacks, though, they're reaching they hit about 15, 16 rounds per magazine, which is an amazing capacity, especially when you're carrying a large caliber like a 45. Those are really cool.
So let's get back to what you were saying before, because I know you got the experience with the 9mm, and there's also the 45 ACP. Now, one thing that I've seen in a lot of my research when I was buying my first firearm last year was a big debate between 9mm owners and 45 ACP owners.
Right.
It seems like you're kind of one or the other.
Right.
So why is that?
Well, I mean, a lot of it comes down to the individual gun owner themselves. Do they have faith in their accuracy? Are they spending regular range time? If they don't, then they're probably going to gravitate towards something with more of a round count, or just so that they have those rounds. If they, are going to be inaccurate and they're going to miss a couple times, you want to have extra rounds to replace the shots you missed, if that makes any sense.
That's true.
So yeah, a lot of times a 9 millimeter, some stopping power like some tumble upon impact rounds or some hollow point rounds, that's going to provide all the power you need, especially when well placed. There are those, the fans of the 40. I don't blame you guys. My wife prefers the 40 over a 9 every time. There's just something about the extra power, the quicker recoil, or sorry, the quicker reset on the gun itself to refeed the next round. That it feels more precise and more accurate towards her. I'm gonna kind of guess it's about the same feeling that I felt about shooting the 45 over the 9 today too.
Gotcha.
Just kind of that more like as soon as that trigger is pulled, it's like suddenly the bullet is there and it's right where you wanted it. And yeah, there's something very, very comforting in that. The 40 though, you're looking at 1.8 times the amount of power over a 9 millimeter round. So even if you are carrying less, you've still got stopping power there. It's just about how you're going to use it and what you prefer.
Sounds good. So like, even if you go like, how big do you think the hole would be for like 9 millimeter hollow point versus just like a regular 45 ACP? Would we be talking like something close? Like how much of it's the ammunition? How much of it is, the actual caliber?
Well, okay, fair enough. So the larger the caliber, the more powder that goes into it, so the larger explosive force behind the actual projectile bullet itself. So when you have that higher spread, you can go a little bit of a farther of a range as well, with like a 40 or a 45 because it has the power to carry it.
Okay.
9 millimeter, they're moving about 1,000, maybe 1,100 if you're using, 1,200 if you're using some plus P plus ammo, just that extra or that extra power.
A little extra.
Yeah, it'll increase your range a little bit, but you really got to have some power behind it if you want to carry any sort of distance accurately. Other than that, you're going to overcome friction. You're going to overcome gravity. So that bolt's going to naturally want to drop as it loses power, as everything does. And, with a 40 or a 45, 45 is, I think, 2.3 times stronger than a 9. So I'll leave even a little bit further beyond that 40, but you get that extra range in there, that extra foot per second, all equals a bit of power. The holes are going to be about the same.
Oh, okay.
They're going to be about the same on the outside.
Gotcha.
So that entry hole is going to look like an entry hole. The difference is if you're using like tumble upon impact with a 9 millimeter round or something like that. So that is designed to hit the target and then tumble end over end inside. That leaves a lot more wreckage in its path. The hollow point would hit its target and then it expands to create stopping power. So it's not going to go as deep. It's designed to spread out and stop. So a little bit of a difference.
Okay.
Most 40 rounds, I know that there's 40 hollow points, but especially 45, you're only really going to see them in a targeting round. It's going to be a ball end on it. When you're rocking that much power, it's going to stop what it needs to.
Yeah, well.
And there's certain velocity restrictions on, like NATO, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the last things that I wanted to ask you about,
Sure.
that I noticed right off the bat with the 1911s is the trigger.
Oh, yeah.
It's a way different.
Yeah. So a hair's touch. That was really all that was needed.
Yeah.
Remington really did something good when they put this trigger on it. It's maybe I didn't test it, but it's maybe only a 3 or a 4 pound pull. Extremely light. The round would go off before you even knew that it was about to go off. If that means it gave it a better chance to surprise you, and I think that made our shots more accurate because we're not anticipating that muzzle climb or
Right.
the recoil. Right.
Exactly. It was a lot quicker. and it not to the point where I felt uncomfortable with it.
Sure.
It was more like it knows I'm ready.
Right. Now, and there was one thing I wanted to address as well. It was not all sunshine and roses with this particular gun. We did actually have a malfunction.
That's right.
It wasn't during firing or anything like that. We basically loaded the magazine and went to chamber the round, and the round comes to cock up to go into the slot or into the to the barrel, and it actually stuck inside. So it was a misfeed. But that we only noticed, and again, this is particularly for the Remington 1911, with a full mag, it had problems chambering that first round. We were shooting rounds or magazines of 5, and every time we shot a magazine of 5 with that extra play in the spring on the magazine itself, we never had an issue. It was when we decided to let's dump a magazine, put all 8 in there, which was the capacity for this specific 1911. And we had that misfeed on the first try. So again, we dropped our mag, we took the live round out, we reset with 7 in the magazine. No problems, absolutely worked, absolutely fine. It could just be 2. This was a rental gun.
Right.
It's probably had a few thousand rounds fired through it.
It could have been the spring in the magazine.
It could have just been worn out from being compressed over time. I noticed that it was particularly easy to load these rounds of 45 into this magazine.
I noticed that too. I was just wondering whether or not because it was, such a larger bullet than I'm used to loading in.
Hell no.
Or if it was that spring, but it went down pretty easy.
It had been broken in before.
Yeah.
Absolutely. By a good couple people. Mm-hmm. But, in light of all fairness and clarity, we want to bring you the bad stuff as well as the good and prevent, your own personal endeavors, and for you to have to figure that out yourself. That's what our channel's here for. We'd rather do that stuff and find that out for you so that it becomes a non-issue when you purchase your firearm. So
exactly. And so, that's what we want to know. We want to know if you've had any problems with any sort of misfeeds with the 1911, whether it's a Remington or a different model. Do you have a specific manufacturer 1911 that you prefer over another? Is it Springfield Armory? Is it Colt? Who may it be? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll definitely look into that. Make sure you also like and subscribe and hit that notification bell.
So this part's for me, Kyle. The 1911 in general is one of the most customizable guns on the market.
Yes.
Everyone and their dog makes aftermarket parts for these. So friendly little competition between the patriots that are out there. We do have a comment section. So go ahead and if you have a 1911 that you've decked out and it's customized out towards you, we love seeing that individuality. And we would like to see what you have. Just post it down below. We'll look at all the comments. We're very quick to reply to all of them. We love to hear what you guys have to say. But yeah, I think that would be really cool, is just to see my feed flooded with 1911s.
That would be pretty great. I mean, as if our jobs aren't great enough. Go ahead and flood that comment section with your pictures of your 1911 or one that you shot before.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and seeing our special spotlight on the Remington 1911. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you again soon.